an eargasm of learning and a no-fuss show. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast, where you can learn straightforward topics about branding, digital entrepreneurship, online business, and many more with your charming host, John Santos, along with inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders worldwide.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast with me, John Santos, and this is another amazing episode. Why? We have very beautiful, the Queen.
You are
Guys, a public speaker, an author, and a successful entrepreneur, fashion enthusiast. I mean, let's put everything there. She is amazing. I love the energy. I love the love and kindness from this person. It's just showing light, hope, and very positive, energy coming from this person. Very humble. I love her. I love her community. I love her message. And I'm so blessed to be here with this person on this episode. Let's all welcome, guys, Alisha J. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Gee, you are just way too kind. Like, that was like the best intro I have had this year. So thank you.
You can cut that part, right? You can cut that part and just listen to it.
Right, that's it. That's the whole show. So thank you.
Well, I said this off cam, Alisha. I said this off cam, and I'll say it again. I've been messaging. We're exchanging messages on Instagram that it is a blessing to have you here on the show. Because I believe in your message. I believe in the journey that you're taking. Helping people, and I'm a fan, really. So again, thank you, my friend.
And thank you again, and congratulations on your new sponsor. Woo!
Oh yeah. We're gonna mention them later. Woo.
Yeah, that part.
All right, so I'm sure our listeners, our viewers are very excited. It's 2024, and Alisha here is the first special guest for this year. Yeah. We're all excited. I'm excited also. But before we jump and focus on the heavy topic that we have for today's episode, let's step back. I'm excited to know who or what influenced you to be in this position of greatness. I mean, you're really touching people's lives, connecting, making an impact, engaging out there, social media, and in the real world. In our industry, you are in the center of the spotlight. So give us a brief story of who you are behind the brand. The floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. So, like Jan said, I'm Alisha J, and I'm in the United States. So, welcome to America. So, but I'm just a little girl from Georgia that God has called to do a mighty work for His kingdom, and to expand His kingdom, and to love on His children, and to tell His children that He really does want them to be the best selves that they can be. If I could say anybody who influences me, of course, would be God. And then, my parents, of course, and even my brother. And my brother and I are 10 years apart. And amazingly, he has a lot of influence in my life as well. And so, I wanted to, and I've always had this burning yearning to help others in some capacity. My mom will tell you, when I was in the fifth grade, fourth grade. My goodness, I done skipped over all the grades. Fourth grade. There was a young lady who would come to school in the same clothes every week. And I went to my mom and I said, "Hey, Mom, let's buy her some new clothes." And my mom and we went to the store and bought her some more clothes. And, I presented the clothes to her, privately. I didn't do it in public.
Yeah.
I've always been a giver. I've always been a person who wants to help others. And so I believe that God blessed me with this gift. Not only that, my parents are givers. My grandparents were givers. Like, my grandmother used to feed the community, and she had 14 kids of her own. So, you know,
Wow.
to invite
Wow.
others, right, to come and eat. So it's in my blood, but not only that, it's a calling. And so I
Right.
really just want to see people win. Honestly, want to see people win and walk in their purpose,
Mm.
walk in what God has called them to be, walk in love, walk in
Mm.
confidence, and know that God wants them to have all of these things, right? Know that God didn't just place them on this earth and just throw them down here for no reason, right? There's some purpose, right, for your life. And I remember one of my cousins, and he said something that was so profound, and it kind of hurt my heart. I asked him, I said,
Mm.
"Hey, how are you doing?" He said, "I'm surviving." And
Ooh.
yeah, yeah. And I said, I don't ever want to encounter another person who says, I'm just surviving.
Right. Wow. I love that. I love that. And I do understand where you're coming from. Isn't it, before we push forward, I just have a question in mind.
Yeah.
Isn't it hard, especially in our industry, you are on social media, you are creating content, and you're also very vocal and bold about, you believing in your purpose and what God created you to be. Isn't it hard? Have you experienced, like, bashers, negativity about your beliefs and your journey with God?
I have not, surprisingly enough, but what I do get is like the crazy accounts that are like priestess and all the things. But what I have learned is that the battles that I fight are not physical. So I do come up against a lot of spiritual warfare often.
Mm.
Recently just had to deal with, spiritual warfare, so you'll find, I find myself having to pray more, pray
Wow.
differently, pray often. I just sent you a video about, anointing
Yeah,
your home.
yeah.
I anointed my home. I walk through my house often praying because I know that we wrestle. The Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and rulers of darkness. And
Right,
that thing is
right.
real. So for those of you who do not believe in the spirit world, spirits are real. The God that I serve, though, has power and authority to overcome all of the evil spirits.
Right.
And so I know that when I get in that place, I'm either on the cusp of going to another level, in
Mm.
business or in my spiritual life, or there's somebody out there really trying to prevent me from doing what I need to do. So no, I haven't seen anybody crazy in my comments, but I know that there are crazy people, witches out here casting spells. That's all right. I serve Jesus, so go ahead, keep on coming, because we warring. Listen, the battle is the Lord. That's all I got to say about that. Period.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you mentioned about you mentioned about business, right?
Yes.
And this is where it really changed the game. This is there's a lot of what we call gurus out there that gonna be teaching or sharing you how to win in 2024 and beyond, how to be successful, how to be rich, how to be millionaire, or be like this, be like that. Again, I mean, I don't know. In my perspective, it's very, very hard to determine whether it is true, authentic, or not, right? Especially in this industry, in this era that we are in right now.
Yes.
Um, but clearly, you, Alicia, you are a successful entrepreneur. You are reaching, you know, people from every parts of the US and every parts of the world. You're speaking, you are also coaching, you have a powerful brand. And I'm excited to know about your perspective, and this is connected to your mission, right? Your
Yes.
message as a brand,
Yes.
igniting your purpose and
Yes.
discovering your unique mission. Now, for me, the reason why I started with, those gurus and teaching about how to be successful, it's uh well, I don't know for you and for the listeners and viewers out there, but for me, You can only be successful, you can only reach your goal if you know your purpose, right? I always say this: intent comes before content. It means the intention starts. It's your core, your battery before anything else. And there is no great person to share about purpose and mission in it than you, my friend, Alicia.
That's so
So the
sweet.
floor is yours, my friend. Igniting your purpose, discovering your unique mission. What is it about? Why is it important? The floor is yours.
Yes. So, and thank you, Jan. Your words are so encouraging. So appreciate you so much. So purpose begins with you. I believe it really begins with you knowing who you are, right? Not just knowing who you are, but whose you are. When you, as a believer in Christ, I told every day I have to remind myself that I'm a child of God, that Abba is my father, that
Yeah.
he sits on the throne.
Mm.
He created the heavens and the earth. He's the one who allows things to happen, doesn't allow things to happen, who orchestrates our lives. He is the creator.
Mm.
And so in the moments where I have situations where I'm just like, Lord, I don't know what's going on today. I feel heavy today. Things aren't going the way I planned it. I don't feel motivated. I have to sit there and say, Alicia, your dad is the creator of the world. Like,
Right.
there is nothing that he cannot do. So why not open your mouth and ask him for direction? Ask him for help. Ask him to send somebody to help you, those type of things. So I think that that's the beginning, is having that relationship with God and knowing that he orchestrates everything. And I say that to
Right.
say, because I know oftentimes a lot of us get prophesied to, or, we have a prophet or somebody that comes into our lives and are like, oh, I see you to be a
Yeah.
preacher, or I see you to do this. Years ago, I was prophesied to, and the young lady who told me, who was talking to me, she said, I see you as a drawer. Now, mind you, this was like 15 years ago, I think it was. And
Yeah.
I looked at the lady. I didn't want to draw. I was not interested in being a painter. Like, I scribbled here and there. I was like, I had
Right.
sticky
Right.
on a piece of paper. I don't know how many times you could draw a 3D box, but that's what I was doing. And so I looked at her like she was crazy, right? I was like, you're out of your mind. But the word of God says, we prophesy in part. And so at the time, I wasn't really aware of the whole prophesying in part, but I was just like, okay, whatever. And I had met a makeup artist, and she was doing makeup for my mom, because my mom was preaching, and so she would get her makeup done. And I started to get intrigued. And so I started getting into
Wow.
makeup and learning how to do makeup. And after that, I met I met Alexander Butler. She's a profound
Right.
makeup artist. She is a beast in the makeup artist world. Okay, she goes by makeup Alex. She goes by Alex Butler, and I met her. She was doing the makeup for my cousin's wedding, and I was like, oh, I could do this. And so I started getting into that. And it wasn't until years later until I put two and two together, and it was like, oh, that lady wasn't crazy. She was telling me I was going to be a makeup artist. What she saw was that I was drawing. She just saw brushes. She didn't see the full picture. But God knew what he was doing, and he was placing the people in my life to pull that out of me. And so what you'll find is when God is aligning you with your purpose, he's going to put people in your life to bring that out of you. I've heard this, and I'm going to repeat it, where people are like, I don't know what my purpose is. Okay, well, list out your passion. What do you like to do? Do you like to help the homeless? Do you like to knit? Do you like to play baseball? Do you like to play basketball? And so then you list those things, right? And then from there, you pull from, okay, this is what I like to do. So what can I do how can I use this to help somebody else? Right.
Right.
And so that's one way of finding your purpose. The other is you can find purpose in your pain. And so Yes, and people don't like to go through things. Nobody likes
Mm.
to go through the death of a family member, especially a parent or a child, or even the death of your pet, because pets
Right, right.
are almost family to most people, are family to most people. Um People don't like to lose their home. People don't like to
Mm.
lose a job. People don't like loss, right? But what we find is when we hone in on that pain, what we find is that we're not alone. We're not the only people who are going through this. And so sharing your story of your pain is purpose. Helping someone who's going through that is your purpose. If you have been homeless and God helped you get out of homelessness, why not go help someone else that's homeless get out of homelessness, right? So that now becomes your purpose because you know what it feels like. You know what you had to
Mm.
do to get out of that space. And so
Right.
it becomes a selflessness. It becomes a sacrifice, right? Of what your ideal or idea of your life was going to be.
Mm.
Parents of children who have disabilities, write a book, write a pamphlet, write an ebook, go live one day with your
Yeah.
child and say, you know what, today was a struggle. Like, I was trying to get him dressed and he just didn't want to, get dressed today. And I couldn't go anywhere because he didn't want to get dressed. And the reason why I could speak to that is because I used to be
Right.
a parapro of sorts. I guess is the best way to say it. I was a behavioral analysis. And so I used to
Mm.
work with children who have developmental disabilities. And so I understood from working with the children how parents go through those difficulties. And so, a parent can write a book and say, hey, this is what my child is going through. And we're
Mm.
seeing this pop up all across the world, right? How many Facebook groups have you seen pop up that say this, and
Yeah.
this, and this? There's a Facebook group for mommies who want to breastfeed. You're having a difficult time on breastfeeding. So, don't let any little thing that you think is crazy stop you from pursuing something that can help somebody else. Like, for instance, for me, I wrote a book based on the fact that at 34, I was diagnosed with perimenopause and pre-ovarian failure, and I thought I had
Mm.
time to have kids, and I'm not married. So I'm like, what's happening? So and talking about that real conversation with God too, because
Mm.
when we go through something that's painful, a lot of us as Christians, so oftentimes it's like we're told be grateful that God's
Right.
gonna bring you through, which is true. We
Mm.
continue to be grateful. But I get real with God because I said, this my
Mm.
daddy. He already knows I'm having a hard time with this. Might as well just talk to him about it, right?
Yeah.
Um, right. So, and then also sharing your pain can be therapeutic. Sharing your
Ooh.
story can allow you that space to be able to grieve what you thought was going to be your life, that is now changed, and you start to formulate the new life that you have. And this now includes
Mm.
you using the pain that you feel as a place to help others heal. And then within that, you will
Wow.
be healed as well. I'm just picking
Mm.
up what I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down, people. So
Those are
so
like those are like knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb. It's just like kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. I love it. I love it. Wait, 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 wait. Before we continue,
yeah.
let me just throw in a question there because I really want this to be clear and solid for everyone because like me, I believe in understanding your purpose,
Mm,
and I believe that that is the make or break in your journey towards success. And success is not only being you rich or something, it's
right,
having a
right.
positive free life, right, full of love and joy. um Now, I'm sure our listeners and viewers are excited to get some, pieces. You mentioned the importance of purpose, and you touch a bit of like how we can use different ways as
Mhm.
our anchor in purpose, right? It could be pain, it could be a lot of things, passion. Now, can you share like three basic tips for people, entrepreneurs, creators, or, moms, dads, students out there, employees out there, jobless out there, people in pain out there that wants to start a journey. What can they do to start, have that ignition, that spark in their journey with their passion? Let's say they know already what they do, but they're stuck in a place. Give them at least three tips that could really start that journey, that boost. The floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. So, first of all, it's always mindset. We get stuck in our minds. It is so hard for us to get over that hump of I can't, I don't have, I'm tired, I don't have the resources, I don't have the people, I don't have the time. So, it's the mindset of getting over the humps, the things that the negative thoughts that you have created that are false narratives. So that's number one. Number two, we have to release the spirit of fear and trust God's word. So it's going back to mindset.
Alicia,
Yeah.
I cannot contain myself because I was waiting for the three tips. After your three tips, there's a message here about fear. From Frank. How do you deal with fear that
Yes.
causes you to be stuck in your purpose? I was about to say that after these three tips, but you nailed it. The top
Yes.
tip number two, kaboom. So again, please
Right.
continue, my friend. The floor is yours.
You've gotta overcome fear, and trust me, I understand it because as an entrepreneur, we are constantly fighting with the fear of starting a thing. I'm sure Jan, when he started his podcast, he had like a whole list of things that was gonna keep him from starting a podcast, and he was doing all of the calculations. And you have to overcome fear. One thing that I do often to overcome fear, I pray a lot. When I say I pray a lot, I pray a lot. Even in times where I don't feel like praying, I'm like, all right, Lord, what is this that is causing the fear to come up? And then I write down, and I well not write down, but I'm suggesting that you write down what is facts, what is actually happening, because fear is just things that we started making up, right? They're not
Right.
real, right? um what is actually happening? Do I have an idea? Yes, this is the idea. Do I have the resources? No, I don't have the resources. So if you don't have the resources, the next thing you are going to do is say, how do I get the resources? The next thing you do is research. What can I do to get funding? Or who can I ask that will invest? Or what can I sell in my house that I'm not
Right.
using to fund the dream, right? So
Yeah.
these are things. So you got to start asking yourself questions: the who, the what, the where, the why, the how, all of those things. Very important. So that's just the basic of overcoming fear, praying, and then formulating a plan. And that's going to be my third point. Formulate a plan.
Right.
Formulate a plan so that you can execute it. And I know it's basic business planning, and sometimes you may not have all the steps. You may not know all the things that you need to do in order to formulate the plan. What I say when I said earlier, do your research. What have other people who are in your field been doing? Like, for instance, Jan, he has a podcast. Research and see, okay, it looks like he has this platform that he's using. He's using Riverside for his to actually record. He's posting on YouTube, he's posting on Instagram, he's posting on all of these platforms. Let me go see what these platforms are all about. What do they require? How much are they a month? What equipment do I need to get? So you've got to list out all of these things. Those are facts. What you're not going to do, which is fearful, is say, well, I don't have $15 for this, so I'm not going
I don't
to
have the money.
be able to do it. Right, like you're already setting yourself up for failure. And you're already telling yourself you cannot do something before you even start. So make sure when you're formulating the plan, list out the facts, list out what you research, and then get research experts, right? Research
Ooh.
them well though. Because you don't want to get scammed because there are scammers out here in these streets. I'm
Right.
so
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
it's the truth. Who will literally take your money and you have nothing but a ebook, and you spent maybe 3 weeks on the phone with them, and it's the truth. So don't get scammed, but find an
Love
expert
that.
in the field, get linked up with people who you respect and who honestly want to help you. If you find that that you get to the end of their webinar, you get to the end of their talk, and all they want is like $20,000, and they don't really have anything to back that up, then
Mm.
do not get involved, right? Move to the next person. And it's okay. It really is okay. You do not have to align yourself with somebody you don't feel comfortable working with.
Yes. Yes. Love that. Love that. Alicia, a follow-up question. Well, not a
Yes.
follow-up, but another question that I really believe is very important, and this is connected in somehow to being. You talk about fear, right? But this is more. The question, by the way, is from one Camu from Instagram. So
Okay.
weird name, but thank you. One Camu. It's like wow. All right. The message. The question is how do you deal with failure? Yes, the purpose is there, and they started the journey. This is not written. I'm just visualizing this.
Yes, yes.
um yes, you have your purpose in line, you know what you do, you have the 3 steps and everything, you started it, right? But
Mhm.
along the way, something happened, life get in the way, and something didn't work out, so that's a failure. What would you do now? Some tips from an expert like you. The floor is yours, my friend.
So you pivot. You pivot. Failure is a part of the process in most
Mm.
cases. Um, Prototypes, if you think about how rockets are made, how the
Mm.
first house was made, how the light bulb was made, many times people had to go back and say, okay, this is the idea, this makes sense, right? We've written out the formula, this is supposed to make sense, blah 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 blah. It didn't work, and so now we go back, we pivot. What
Mm.
was missing? What didn't work? So um you have to sit and say, okay, what worked? What didn't work? And then
Mm.
now what are we going to change so that it does work? Listen, I don't like failures. I'm still, going through the process of overcoming the spirit of rejection. So I understand
Right.
depression happens, you get discouraged, you don't want to keep going, you want to try something else. Sometimes the pivot is to say, okay, no, this ain't it. Or sometimes the pivot is literally just make a change on what's going
Mm.
on with this thing that you're doing.
Mm. Yeah.
The main point that you don't want to do, the main thing that you don't want to do is give up. So if you know you're a
Oh.
creative, if you know that God has given you something, you have something that you need to do, continue to go and, create your invention, continue to go on people's podcasts, continue to send emails,
Right.
continue to
Mm.
do these things. Things don't happen overnight. A lot
Yeah.
of successful people will tell you Jeff Bezos started Amazon. It took him years before it took off. People were like,
Mm. It was.
Amazon, we're gonna be ordering online, and it's not craziness because people are gonna be like, that doesn't make sense. And then
Right.
billions of dollars later, Jeff Bezos is chilling, right? So, and I
Yeah.
don't know his personal story, but we know he's making a lot of money, right? And we know that he started in his garage. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like he started in the penthouse. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so you gotta start and you gotta keep going. And I know it gets
Mm.
discouraging. Trust me, I understand. I'm an entrepreneur. There have been days I want to just, throw the whole laptop away. But but you have to find your why. Why am I doing this? Why am I still why do I still have this undying feeling
Mm,
to keep going, to motivate, to help, to do all the things. So when you identify your why, it will help
mm.
you to pivot. And again, ask for help. Ask successful business owners, what did you do to pivot? What did you do to help you get to the next step when you got there?
Ooh, I love that. Those are knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb, values after values. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Alicia. Oh, let me just connect this to that last line that you said. Something that you do because you know your why, and you need to do everything for you to keep focused and in the zone. And for
Yes.
me, yes, you will sometimes, like what you've said, you want to throw out the laptop because you don't feel it, right?
Right.
The the entrepreneurial journey or your adventures always not gonna be joyful. It's not gonna be happy. There are failures, there are pains involved, but you really need to hone in the why and do everything. Look for everything that can push you forward, and it
Yes.
doesn't need to be something serious or something big. For me, it works is, I need a boost right before I order coffee, tons of coffee to keep me focused and to keep me, really energized. But now, one thing that, oh, it's raining hard.
Oh,
But now, one thing that really pushed me forward is, it's like this small. It's a productivity shot, one shot and boom, I'm focused and I can really put my energy into what my why is, my passion. And that's literally magic. That's literally magic. So, and I want you to try that. After this recording podcast, I'll be sharing this with you, Alicia. This is gonna
yes.
revolutionize the way you focus and the way you look on things. Your first, the stress will be lessened. Your journey, if you feel tired, come on, it's gonna be rejuvenated. It's not magic, but it's something that really can push your focus and productivity to the next level, right? It works for me. It works for me. All I
Okay.
need is the energy. I have the passion. I, I have the passion. I have my why, the intent before anything else. You wrap it
Yes.
up with that productivity shot, boom, let's go.
Let's go. I
Let's go,
love
let's
it.
go, let's go.
Woo. Yes.
Oh, I mentioned that, just a segue here. I don't know if Alicia here is a coffee drinker, but I used to drink like, I consume like 4 to 5 cups of coffee in a day. Yeah, that's brewed. That's like no milk, like espresso, like super, super solid coffee shots.
That's a lot of
Really,
caffeine, Jan.
I need that. Before, I used to have like up to 3 podcast recordings in a day. Let's say 2 hours for an each. So that's 6 hours of
Yes.
podcast interview. I need
What?
coffee. Yeah. And literally, you will find out that yes, you can do it, but after that, your
Right.
battery dead.
What's
But
happening here?
it changed. I'm excited to know how you deal with like speaking outside, event after event, writing a book, your focus. But it changed. It changed because of I tried this productivity shot long before it became part of the show. You mentioned this a while ago. For
I
everyone that is
did.
listening and watching, um, Alicia here like really started the show with
I
mentioning
did.
the sponsoring.
I
um,
did.
yeah, and I make it a point that this show, this podcast is about our guest. It's not about me. It's about the guest. That's the focus. That's the spotlight. So even though there are sponsors, partners, I rarely talk about them at the start, and I just put them in the center and the end. But no, Alicia came in hot. She's
I
like,
did.
boom, thank you. But
It's
yeah,
like,
having said that, guys, for everyone that is listening and watching, and Alicia here, because we are in the same industry, we're in the same ocean, different boat. speaking, connecting with people, sharing values, and this is really exhausting. This is really tiring. I want you to try, Alicia. I'll work out something about you trying this product, and it's, I'm not selling it. I don't own the product,
Right.
but it works for me, my dear.
Okay.
From
It's real good.
five coffee intakes, I'm now only consuming 1 cup of coffee.
Wow.
Yeah, this is no joke. And I'm really I'm a skeptic. I was like, all right, okay, there's a lot of scammers out there that claim such, right? So uh, it's just me being skeptic. So I tried the product, and it really is amazing. From five, I'm now consuming one. So this productivity shot really pushed my focus to the next level, boost my productivity, lessen the stress. You get to do a lot of things. You get tired, but you're not exhausted. I found out that there's a big difference, right?
There's a big difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, this is Magic Mind. It will be in the description, like what my friend here, Alicia, said. There's a lot of content about it, but Magic Mind really changed the way I struggle to focus. When I'm down in deadlines and I get irritated. The perfect explanation is when Alicia said sometimes you just want to throw the laptop away. When you want to do that or like punch the computer screen, you are stressed.
Yes. Listen.
So, guys, Magic Mind is the world's first productivity shot. It's powered by matcha, nootropics, and adaptogens. I only know what matcha does. I'm not an expert with nootropics and adaptogens, but Alicia, what matcha does is it gives you the power. Same with caffeine,
Okay.
but it does not exhaust you when it loses its power, its energy.
Okay.
When the
So there's
caffeine gets
no
down,
drop.
yeah,
Okay.
yes, when it drops, it doesn't drain you. I don't know how that magic works. That's why it's called Magic Mind. So, but enough of that. Enough of that. I'm just so happy because we have an expert here, guys, that is talking about you having the most important thing before anything else. If you want to be successful in this journey, rich, family, wealthy, friends, aiming your goals, anything, it's all connected to understanding your purpose. Once you have that in line, you need to have all the things you will be needing to ignite that purpose. And that's what Alicia's saying. You make a list. You write down everything that you need. If there are things that you need and you don't have, what are the next steps to do? And it's not hard. It's easily said than done. I know. We've been there. Alicia's been there. But that is where you're going to start so that you can have a solid foundation. And I believe that, Alicia, if you have a solid foundation, and God is really moving in your life, God has planted something in you, God has created you to be something that, designed perfectly, you will achieve that. You will get what you were created for, right?
Mm. Yes.
I
Absolutely.
love it. I love it.
I do want to say this one thing real quick. When you are aligned with your purpose, I want y'all to understand that yes, it's going to be hard work, but we have a secret weapon that a lot of people who are in the world, who aren't believers, don't have. We've got connection to God, who has connection to every, right? He is the giver of life. He is the source. So as we are working, God is going to take your faith because the Bible says faith without works is dead. God is going to see that you are out here working, that you believe that these things are going to work, and He's going to meet you where He needs to. And He's going to start placing people in your life to get you to the next step. And what I want y'all to do, because I have a hard time with this, is divorce the timeline that you have set And what I've started doing, and I took this from a coach that I had, is I started having business meetings with God where I sit down and I get really quiet and I'm just start, sometimes I'll just start writing out stuff. I'll revisit some notes that I've written before, scriptures that I've written down that pertain to my business, and ask God, okay, God, what do you want me to work on today? What is the next step? Who should I reach out to? Sometimes he answers right then and there, and sometimes there are other steps that I have to go through. But spending time with God and actually asking him about your business, because he loves that. He's like, oh, you included me in your business? Oh, let me open up the floodgates for you, okay? So we have the secret weapon. So make sure
Right.
you have the mindset of, duh, God is on my side. Who can be against me? So
Ooh, I love that. I love that. And I love that you really highlight that part because, it's for me, it's an indicator that everything is a blessing. Everything is because of the grace of God, right?
yes,
The podcast, uh, it started with, nobody believes in it. We don't have even a decent mic. We were in an empty room without any curtains. We were using like a low budget smartphone. But God really gave us that message. It was so clearly that don't worry about the naysayers. Focus on what I say to you because I'll be helping you. You just do your part. I'm gonna do mine.
that part,
And lo and behold, ta-da!
there you are. Listen, that's what faith is. Literally trusting God,
Wow.
being like, okay, let's go. You said we going? All right, we going. And I'm just
Yeah,
following
yeah. And
you.
it will humble you. It
Yes.
will humble
Oh
you.
my
If you
God.
have that as a foundation, it will
Yes.
really humble you. You cannot be proud because you know that everything you have and everything that will come, it's grace. It's a blessing, right?
Yes.
You are being blessed so you can be a blessing as well. I mean, this episode, us having you, me learning, and the listeners and viewers are learning. We don't know that they are going to connect with other people and they're going to be sharing the values that they got from you. So we are being blessed to be a blessing. That's going to keep you humble. That's going to keep you in check because it's all about God.
Amen. Okay. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. This is an amazing episode. Wow. Knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb, learning after learning, values after values. I've learned a lot from Alicia. Well, I'm a fan anyway, so whatever she says, I'm in it.
I love it. I'm a fan of yours too, Jan.
But we're not done yet, my dear. We're not done yet, my dear. We are
Yes.
now in the part that we will play a game. Okay?
Yay.
This is a tradition here in the show. Since we started from episode 1, we are on episode 300 plus. This is a tradition
Woo!
here that we do. We call it the creative fast talk. How the game works is I will be asking you choices, giving you choices or question, and you are not allowed to spend much time thinking what the right answer would be. The first
Oh,
word that comes into your mind, boom,
say it.
shoot.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Let's start with an easy one. All right. Number 1, sun or snow?
Sun.
Wow, you love the heat.
I love the heat. I'm all about the
All right, next.
heat.
Oh yeah. All right, next. Structure or chaotic?
Structured.
Okay, okay. Love or money?
Love.
Yeah. All right. If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why?
A chipmunk, because it's tiny and it stays tiny and it's super cute.
All right. All right. You don't know that, you know, I was like losing my bed there.
You were not expecting chipmunk, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was the that was the first answer that I got from like the whole 300 plus episode, you were the first to give in an answer that you are a chipmunk. I was like,
Yes.
all right, okay, never heard that. I was like expecting from you like an eagle, soar high because God is like an eagle.
Yes.
Nope,
You know,
chipmunk,
what's funny
chipmunk.
is my parents and my brother asked me the same question. And the first thing I
Right,
got was like, I like little things. Like I like little animals. So I'm like, chipmunk.
all right, okay, okay. Well, chipmunks are cute, and they can change the world also.
One nut at a time.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's a good tagline. Changing the world one nut at a time. I'm gonna create a graphic about that.
You need to.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
All right, next. Popcorn and movies or dinner and dancing.
Dinner and dancing.
Wow. So you love to dance.
I love to dance.
Yes.
A good beat. I don't even care what language it's in. If it's a great beat, I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, listen, we and my brother.
Love it,
every
love it.
Reception, wedding reception we have ever been to, we shut the reception down. We are the last people on the dance floor. Okay.
You guys were, for all the listeners and viewers out there, the DJ is packing up and they will still dancing. They're still dancing on the stage. They're shutting the lights off, keeping the curtains and everything, taking all the tables, and they're like, we are not going home.
No problem. And my brother is a way better dancer than I am, but we just okay.
I'm having a bad headache now for laughing because Alicia's just an amazing guest. Like, okay. Next. See, I lost my questions now. Next. Alisha, are you a passenger or a driver?
I'm a driver.
Yeah, all right. You answered this a while ago, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. The mountains or the beaches?
The beach.
Yes. You need to come to the Philippines, my friend. If you love the beaches, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Beaches, let's go.
Yes. All right. Next question. What are you afraid of and why?
Afraid that sometimes I'm afraid of my own potential. And this is why I'm like,
oh, that's deep.
To like get over fear because I'm constantly having to get over fear myself. So yeah.
Wow. No, that makes sense. Love that. All right. All right, next. What is your dream super? All right. What is your dream superpower and why?
I would love to be able to fly.
Uh-huh. Okay. So you can go to the beaches right away, right?
Yes, because I can just go anywhere and be there in like 2 seconds. If I can fly, listen, I'll be done.
Nice. Right. All right. This last question can be something serious depending on how you will take it. All right?
Okay.
So the question is, if you have the power to bring back someone back from the dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, because there's so many people. Like I would be like, Jesus,
Yeah, but you can only use that power one time.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my biological mother passed away when I was 6. I would probably bring her back only because I have questions, like so many questions.
Right.
Ask her, that I would like answered. So it'd probably be her.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a sweet share that you gave us. I know she's proud of you, and you are indeed a light and a blessing to everyone. Thank you, Alisha, for giving us values, sharing your story, and having fun with us here in the show. If you have I know you have a lot of things to promote, your business, book, or events, social media accounts. Please do promote. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And thank you, Jan, for reaching out to me. I appreciate you so much. This has been so much fun. And you are just so awesome, if nobody has told you that today. Uh, and I love your energy, and even since the first time, we started DMing each other. So thank you. For those of you who want to keep in contact with me, again, I'm Alisha J. I am all things Alisha J. .com. All things Alisha J on Instagram, Facebook. I do have a book that is out. It's called Unmarried Without Children. You can purchase it on my website, All Things Alisha J, or you can purchase it on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. I also have a Valentine's Day event. So if you are in Georgia, in the United States of America, we are having an event for all ladies. It's in the middle of the day. It's the brunch. It is Christian based, so we are going to be praying, but we're also going to have fun. I love to play games. Listen, the last time we had games, people were like, we loved it. I play games. We eat. So I have a chef coming out catering.
Wow.
She happens to be my cousin, but she can cook. Okay. And so if you would like to come to the Valentine's Day event, which is now officially sponsored by Sarah Campbell Boutique, you can visit the website, All Things Alisha J, and Alisha is spelled Alisha, allthingsalishaJ.com. Just click on the link and buy your ticket. And we will see you there on February the 10th from 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Wow. So there you have it, guys. Please do connect with Alisha J. I'm sure she can help you in your journey toward success. Again, special thank you to our new sponsor, which Alisha mentioned in the start of the show. Magic Mind. Guys, if you have a problem, a challenge, struggling to focus, drowning in your deadlines, and losing your creative spark, Magic Mind is the answer. It's the world's first productivity shot powered by matcha, nootropics, and adaptogens. It will bring your focus and your productivity to the next level. Alisha, I will connect them to you.
Thank you. Please do. We need more sponsors. Okay, Magic.
Yes. But again, Alisha, my dear, I am so blessed. Joking aside, we've been exchanging messages through social media until the episode started. It is a blessing that you are here with us in the show. I've learned a lot from you, and I'm excited that our listeners and viewers will, use that and really start their journey and connect, share the values that they got from you. And I declare blessing after blessing after blessing be upon you. Please continue to reach out, connect with people, and be a tool for them to achieve success, for them to see the light that God has shared to you. So thank you, Alisha. Thank you. You are amazing. I love you so much.
Thank you, Jan. You are too. Love you too so much. Thanks, guys. Thank y'all.
All right, guys. There you go. This is an amazing episode with Alisha J. Always remember, have a positive outlook in life. Smile, and God bless you. Whoop, whoop. Bye.
Thank you for being with us here on the Creative Talk Podcast. I'm your host, John Santos. Don't forget to listen and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. See you again, always.